Who's going to have the better season this year? Is it going to be Wilson or Lawrence?
I think it's going to be Wilson. I don't even think it's going to be close, just simply because I feel like I think that the Jets have a better roster right now to protect and to bring in a young quarterback. When you think about that left side, Vera Tucker, you think about Becton, that's pure dominance right there. They're going to be able to run the football. And also you think about the scheme in which we're 100% sure that running game, that Kyle Shanahan type of running scheme is going to fare very well for the running backs like Carter, like Tevin Coleman. They built this roster. The only thing I have questions with the Jets is the fact that I don't think they have a good enough tight end for a young quarterback. But I'm still thinking that Joe Douglas still has some moves left in his repertoire. I think that maybe Zach Ertz is still a natural fit. You think about Douglas. Douglas was there in Philadelphia with Zach Ertz. He's a little disgruntled. They have a good quarterback there. It's going to be that secondary wave of guys that's going to get cut, and I can see the Jets maybe making a move for him. And also, you think about a coach in Saleh that has been in the NFL. I think that Urban Meyer is still trying to figure himself out, and I think that everybody there is trying to figure out if they can trust him. And you only know that when you get in adverse situations. It's one thing to be a coach for college. It's another one to be the leader of men, and he's had some questionable decisions already that he's made in his short coaching career.
Week 1 for the Jets is against the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold.
Ooh, Sam Darnold coming out party.
Last year, the Carolina Panthers were right there in a lot of games. And I remember throughout the entirety of the season thinking to myself, this team just really needs one non-COVID season under their belt to really get things going. And they made a change at quarterback, which was a little bewildering to me, I suppose, because I thought Teddy Bridgewater is the real deal. And I just didn't think he had the likes of Christian McCaffrey in place. And so when you come back and you have week 1 against the Carolina Panthers and your former quarterback, Sam Darnold, and you have Christian McCaffrey returning to that squad, who was right there in a lot of games. This is not a sure bet W, okay, for the Jets week 1. And then they have New England and a very motivated Bill Belichick week 2. And then you've got the Denver Broncos and that Teddy Bridgewater I just talked about in Denver, which you would know better than me, but a very tough place to play at Mile High week 3. Yeah. Then you have the Titans in week 4. I don't need to keep going, but the point is this is not an easy right out of the gate situation for the Jets.
No, not at all. And that's why you're going to lean on shortening the game with running game and defense. I think really what's understated about the Jets is I think if Sheldon Rankins can stay healthy, you can argue that the Jets have a top 10 defensive line. And a lot of people forget when you look at Fred Warner and what he was able to do in the San Francisco 49ers and how great he is. He just became the highest paid linebacker in the game. Well, I think C.J. Mosley is better. Right? I think C.J. Mosley, people forget how great C.J. Mosley. It was a reason why they gave him $85 million, $15 million a year. He was the highest paid player. He opted out last year. He only had one game the season before. I was at Jets camp, Wednesday and Saturday. C.J. Mosley's down to 230. He's running well. And they have a great defensive line in front of him that can protect him. The only thing that concerns me about the Jets on the defensive side of the ball is the fact that I believe they don't have any number one corners. They don't have any lockdown corners, so it's going to be corner by committee, and they're going to have to play cover 3 a lot to try and protect those corners that's very young. But when you look at Sheldon Rankins, Quentin Williams, and Carl Lawson, that is a formidable defensive line, and whoever can be that pass rusher opposite those guys is going to be able to give them a great defensive line, which should bode well for them to win ugly. They're going to have to win ugly early.
Okay, so I'm going to go the other way here, and I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence, just because I think he is more ready right now to compete as a starting quarterback in the National Football League, hence why he was the obvious number 1 overall pick. He comes from a program in Clemson that is similar to Alabama's in the fact that they are NFL ready, right? And they are ready to compete right now. I also think there's a favorable schedule for him. And also for Urban Meyer, I don't care that he's a first-year NFL head coach. The dude can coach, okay? Yeah. And he can coach NFL-ready dudes. Let's call it what it is.
Well, time management is something that you can be a little bit concerned with, him learning the NFL game. But also, this is what I like about the fact that Zach Wilson came in. How can you be the number 2 overall pick yet still have a chip on your shoulder, right? Because it's still doubts about Zach Wilson, about, the competition which he played in, BYU, how good is he? It's no questions about Trevor Lawrence. Everybody believes him to be like a great quarterback. He was prototypical, the highest rated quarterback coming out since Andrew Luck. That's a lot more pressure to deal with. I think Zach Wilson's going to have a chip on his shoulder trying to prove that he, is worthy of where he was picked. And the fact that I think that, when you look at the skill positions, I think that the Jets have the better skill position receivers. Right now, early on, Zach Wilson to E.J. Moore has been dynamic, but, they have so much depth at the wide receiver position. Whether you want to talk about Jameson Crowder, you want to talk about Corey Davis, you want to talk about Mims, who I thought would, if he would have been healthy and they would have had a decent offensive line, would have had the same rookie year as a Chase Claypool. So they have so much depth that they can just keep throwing talent at you. Joe Douglas has done a good job in a short period of time going on to get Morgan Moses. So now you think they have 3+ offensive linemen. Becton, I think in a short order of time, is going to be the best left tackle. He's definitely the most physical, the most violent, and when you have that with a run game, you can shorten the game, and you can win ugly because you're going to take the possessions out. So I think early on, because of the running game, because of the offensive line, he got veterans at both ends, right? At right tackle, left tackle, and if Veers Tucker is what they say he is, which is Quentin Nelson. I think it's a far-gone conclusion that they'll have a better season this season.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.